Well, I see that 2 of the 3 are give enough time for reaction. Don't walk the line. I know where you are because we walk together, and when we get to that point, we can actually walk in the group in this plenty of space. My concern is the third tour because I bike those trails and they're a bit narrow, and it's about reaction to come around the corner, even though you might have somebody warning you. But I don't have a problem with the areas which have enough space for people to react.
So the Rotary Track have actually just had a conversation with Rowan, who was here earlier from Bike Taupo, and he was actually quite positive about using some of those tracks as long as we monitored how we were going to do it. The safety parts that we have foreseen is more going downhill, not going uphill. There's obviously not as much speed differential going uphill, but there is downhill. We go quite slow downhill because that's what the Seaway does. We proposed to have guides at the top of those downhill sections to warn any mountain bikers that we're going down. We can use any number of systems, whistles, noises, anything, just to let people and make it more safe. The area is wide enough. It is very manoeuvrable, the Segway too, so our policy would be that when encountering traffic, you stop, pull over to the side and let the traffic go past. And we do that on the Lions Walk as well. That was sort of one of the policies that we set, just to make sure that we weren't moving when there was people coming past.
Can I just mention one other thing, just to ask? We have authority to stop people going on our own property, don't we? But as Mike's just said, that part of the Rotary ride is concessions can be granted by Bike Taupo. They have control of that. So I don't think we can. Is that not true? Is that not right? Can we stop people going on Bike Taupo tracks because Rotary rides?
Well, the first part of the Rotary ride is built on our main park.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not aware that Bike Taupo actually have any formal
but
control.
The bit that's not the bit that's on dock land.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that section. We're only talking about the bit that's on.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Mike, I think it's great that you're trying to sort of inject more into the local, economy and expand your business and everything else. But I just wonder if this is all a bit premature, and perhaps this item should be deferred until the legal status of Segway use is clarified.
It's been going on for 5 years now, this case, and they still haven't
so
done the
that's what I'm
resolution.
saying. If we pass this resolution today, so we're sitting on the about it.
Sorry, Rob. Yeah.
Can I perhaps just clarify, just to make it clear, Gareth is right. The police and NZTA's view of the world is that these are motor vehicles and they are motorcycles because they've got 2 wheels. It's not a question of if they haven't been, my understanding is it's not a question of if they haven't been classified, they're nothing. If they haven't been classified, they are motorcycles, therefore requiring a licence to ride them and motorcycle helmets, for instance. Whether they require a motorcycle licence or not might be a different issue. That's my understanding of the position the police and New Zealand Transport Authority and, for instance, Auckland Transport take. Somebody was prosecuted in Whangarei. The person was using it as a mobility scooter. That's where the issue is being tested at the moment. But certainly the regulatory authorities who control motor vehicles, they view them as motor vehicles. That's their view at the moment.
Okay, any other questions from Mike or for Alison? Okay, there's a suggested resolution. Now we can break that down. You can either do 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can do 2, 3 and 4. From the feeling I get, the majority don't want one in there. Is that What's the feeling? I mean, is there anyone that wants to move the suggested resolution of 1, 2 and 3? Or because it breaks it down, 1 is the second park in the Lions Walk between Rainbow Point and Waka Point, and 2 is actually the Spa Emily Park and Owen Delaney Park, the Rotary Day Night Trail Extension Trails. So I'm quite happy with number 2, but I've still got reservations about number 1. So to do a trial out there, would that be viable? That if you just started out there and then
Sorry, where?
about the number 2, the Spa Park and the Owen Delaney. We might. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Rob, Councillor Henderson, did you want to say?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say that I have no problem with decision taking. The lines walking the lakefront, what I find useful in decision making is to know a little bit more about what other areas are going and how to handle it. And collecting that information, I think it's something it's important to
So if we come back with some more information, that's how they operate and what they operate on.
Yeah, just
We're happy to do that.
Is everyone happy?
Look, me personally, I'd only be happy to move a resolution that I'm happy to use the normal Spa Park areas, not into the trails, and I felt that was granted, so that's a good test for the whole facility, and rather than moving into the trails and anything else, I'd only be happy with the open area of Spa Park. That's what I believe.
Councillor Williams?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm a killjoy. I want to go out on my bike and I don't want to motorise people on any of the trails that I go on. So I'm sorry to say that I number 1, I would find that very difficult with all the little children. But number 2, I also and elderly people using. And okay, there are mobility scooters on the Lions Walk, but number 2, I just see that difficulty with some of the trails and accidents. And I'm not anti-commerce by any means, but the owner of the Sedgway came to a bit of a bad end, so that there is danger. I'm sorry to say that, it's terrible. No, I shouldn't have said that. I apologise profusely, but there is some inherent dangers, and some of those trails have got some quite nasty drop-offs, and it worries me that it would be happening on our land, to be honest. So
it's arguably safer to be on a Segway than it is on a bike, and that's you can stop it quicker, you can balance it, it balances itself. So there are, there's probably arguments for and against both.
Councillor Hadley?
Yeah, like Nicola, I'm sorry to be a bit of a killjoy, but because I think it's a good concept. But I'm quite happy with the lease area, but it's contained, and I've got no problem with that. But for me, it opens a bit of a can of worms because we are allowing motor vehicles, because that's what, at the moment, they suggesting is that that's what they are. Free access or access onto public open space, reserves, walkways, cycleways, and I'm just not really comfortable with that. I like the concept, but I think it needs further investigation so that the council are clear in what the decisions we're making when it comes to allowing motor vehicles on a reserve, because what are we in for next? Bikes, motorbikes,
Well, I mean, it's still up in the air as to if it is actually classed as a
Well,
motor vehicle. I mean, the LTSA views it, but their view hasn't been confirmed yet.
Well, I think that my understanding, I know Gareth did a lot of work on this. Rob's got up and said that the Transport Authority and the police have said they're motor vehicles. So
they say that's their view rather than what